Good afternoon, good afternoon. I am Sandgrain1 and this is episode 6 of the Sand Pack series. Let's kick off this episode by looking at this extension to my peat farm here. It's basically a sand generator, the industrial version. I have this macerator churning cobblestone into sand here, and I'm storing the sand in this chest. The macerator is powered by this MFE, which is filled by the generator here. And the generator is fueled with peat. So it's now a full circle here. I'm taking cobblestone from the bottom chest here. I am simply just refilling this chest from the other chests here. And this pipe here will pump in cobblestone in order to keep this macerator filled. It is turned on when this slot here is emptied. Like you see now, it's on. And this pump will now pump until this macerator has one item back. So it has time to pump 2, is it? Looks like it has time to pump 2 cobblestone before it's turned off again. So and that's basically just the speed of the macerator. I can add some upgrades to the macerator after some time. I need to make a few other machines in order to create those upgrades, but I can speed up this macerator with some upgrades. It will use more power that way, but and that might be worth it, of course. But right now, the only system asking for sand is the peat farm. And as you can see, even with a slow normal macerator, I'm making more sand than I need. Now I will upgrade this at one point, or maybe just create more macerators to run in parallel in order to create sand. But because I will probably need sand for a lot more than just the peat farm here. But for now, this is enough. And this is the pipeline that provides sand to the bog earth factory. So this is back to this chest here. So when when the bog earth factory here creates some bog earth and use items from this chest, the gate there will send a signal asking for more sand. So, and when the chest is full again, like now, the supply is stopped again. So this process starts here with the red pipe wire, goes into this gate that powers the redstone engine. This redstone engine is doing something that I do not particularly like. It's running continuously. I prefer to turn these engines on and off based on the need, but I have limited amount of logic gates with the autarchic gates. Right now, I'm not getting any peat here because there is still room for peat here. Now, let's see here if we're getting any peat. It's full here. Maybe that was an exact amount of peat. The turbary, I think that's what it was called, will do work in batches. So right now it's waiting a little bit for more bog earth to mature probably, and then it would scan a few spots again, and then it will pick up any peat, and then it will wait a little bit again. So it's working in batches, probably a little bit based on how much energy it's receiving. So now we're getting peat, and because this chest is full, the peat will just zip by here and into the generator. There it comes. That powers the generator. So that was 2. Do I get any more? No, so it picked up 2 peat. And that is filling up the MFE with the EU. So the MFE is basically just a storage unit. It's a little bit like the backpack, but the backpack is just something that I can carry around. This is a storage unit with a lot more space, but it is stationary. It's a block. This is a transformer. So this MFE is will be outputting volt EU at a voltage level that is too high for the macerator. So I'm stepping down the volt in this transformer here. So we got some more peat, and it's slowly filling up this MFE. So right now the only input to this system here is cobblestone, and the output is all these resources. It's some extra sand, some extra dirt, some ash, and peat, and some extra energy. Because right now the peat farm is creating more peat, and that provides more power, so that this MFE is actually being filled up rather than emptied. So I'm generating more energy than this macerator is able to use, so I'm getting a surplus of energy. This is just this just is here to catch any peat that might travel past the generator. I was a little bit afraid at one point that the peat coming from the peat farm, I was a little bit afraid that the burn time on one peat was so long that there was a risk that the generator would fill up completely. So this chest was a way to catch all the peat if this was full. But I don't think that is ever going to be a problem. So the only way that might become a problem is if this MFE is completely filled. When that is filled, the generator would run less. It won't run as much, and that might actually lead to a situation where the peat is filling up a little bit. But yeah, and that would result in the system filling this chest, and that would actually turn off the peat farm with this gate here. If this chest is suddenly full, then this becomes false, and the blue wire there is the one that is running the peat engine down here. So if the blue signal here is turned off, it will also turn off the redstone signal there, and that turns off the engine. So that's a security mechanism. It's a way to prevent any overflow. Yeah, I still haven't seen it happen. One of the reasons why I haven't seen it happen is that the burn time is fairly short, and I am from time to time I've been visiting this chest and removing blocks here, so that the peat would be stored here instead of going to the generator. So that was one other way to sort of balance the supply. So this is sort of a complete circle, and it's not very advanced. I'll admit it's pretty simple logic here, and the piping is a mess. And of course this is temporary. Even this is temporary. I will probably expand the quarry in this direction here at one point. So yeah, I always move things around and try to organize things as logical as possible and stuff like that. So these things will change. This was mostly a temporary experiment to see if I could do something with the cobblestone and help on the supply of peat or of sand to the peat farm. But I hope to do more of this. Similar systems talking to one another. I now have 3 systems here. I have a bog earth factory, I have a peat farm, and I have a sand factory. Well, you could also split this actually in 2 and call that an energy unit, sort of. So, and yeah, all of them sort of speak to one another and cooperate. And I hope I will be able to add a lot of interaction between different parts of my base here. Let's continue. I have done some changes to the bees here. There is only some pipes here, and we're going to do this very briefly. But this wooden pipe will extract anything inside the apiary. So when the queen here dies, it will spawn a princess and a few drones, at least 1 drone, and that will be automatically extracted by the wooden pipe. It will travel down, and this is a new type of pipe. It's a diamond pipe with some special features for bees and handling of bees. The apiarist pipe it's called. So this is specifically for bee sorting. Right now I have a very basic sorting here. So any bee that travels here will go back into the apiary as long as there is room for any bee in the apiary, and then that's these 2 slots here. And any other bees or any items like combs will travel in the green here. So some very basic sorting so that the bees ends up the bees and the combs ends up here instead of in each individual apiary. The apiaries also have limited space here, and with a larger chest I can let the system go unattended for a little bit longer. I no longer need to babysit these apiaries. They will renew themselves by combining princess and a drone, and they will just keep on going. Another thing is the oil. The oil well is now empty. There is no more oil in the oil deposits down in the caves. And yeah, so these engines is now used to create diamond gates actually. So yeah. Anything else here? I have expanded the quarry, moved the quarry, and it's actually that has actually been working for quite a while now. So it's pretty deep, and you can see the tunnels in my branch mines, and I'm doing that only because I want to use as many of the diamonds as possible. Yeah, I want to use the pick on as many diamonds as possible. In order to use the fortune effect. And in that context, I have some amazing news here. Like that shiny thing there. Another identical pick. So I'm now settled. I was hoping for silk touch. Yeah. But I guess I should be happy with fortune. Silk touch is actually more rare. Why is this working? Why is this drawing energy? It shouldn't. Let me give it something to work with. Ah. Let's give it some wheat. The wheat will be turned into biomass, although at a slower rate than saplings. I think the fermenter here was asking for energy because it still had some fertilizer. Actually, I think it's manure, compost. It still has some compost here. So now it's just using all of that, and when that is gone, I think it will stop. The fermenter has now stopped asking for energy here. So it was probably because of the remaining compost here. So that is nice to know. What I have been doing is I've added a stack of wheat and one compost. And it's actually using all the wheat and then some. So I should probably give it 2 stacks of wheat for every compost, so that I am sure that all the compost is spent, in order to stop the fermenter from asking for energy. Welcome to my nether base. It's not much to show for yet. I haven't even protected it from ghast blasts. So I carry a flint here, flint and tinder. I'm fairly protected here, although my portal has actually been disabled once already by a ghast explosion. But I did actually find a stronghold here. So I went actually straight to the stronghold. I just dig through here, down here, and you can see the stronghold appearing right there. Oh, right here. So that's a nice stronghold, and I've been fairly lucky with blaze with blaze spawners. I created this temporary bridge here. Made a tunnel through one of these stronghold pillars, and straight up and into the blaze spawner. There's one over there as well. So those are pretty close to one another. It's a little bit unpractical to link them together in order to create a dual spawner, but something to consider. And I never remember where to go in these mazes. But I did find a larger structure, I think it was over here, that contained the... that was the wrong way, obviously. Okay. Yeah, so I did find the houses, should I call them that? The houses, and the stronghold houses. And that with the nether wart. So it's a nice structure. It'll be interesting to see how this will work with wither skeletons. How many wither skeletons I will be getting in this up here. I never really studied how that works. I guess I have to watch some of the videos from Doc M and from Etho. They usually have nice explanations for those things. So this is where I got the nether warts. But yeah, I have actually also been hunting a little bit for Endermen. So I now have 13 Ender pearls. So I can now actually go on a hunt for a stronghold in the overworld as well. Go looking for the end portal, and that will be done in one of the upcoming videos. Maybe not the first one, because I will still need some ender pearls, probably just to activate the portals. So I will probably try to gather some more ender pearls before I go on a large expedition. But yeah, I think this is enough for today in this episode. Thanks for watching. Bye bye. Nice.